We all know materials are broadly divided into conductors and insulators. Okay, so materials can be classified broadly into conductors and insulators. So what are insulators? We know insulators are substances which do not conduct electricity, because each electron is very tightly attached to the atom, the respective atoms. So electrons are not free to move. Such substances are called insulators. Okay, so here the electrons are attached. Each electron is attached to a particular atom, so they are not free. So such substances, materials are insulators. Now, what are conductors? In a conductor, one or more electrons per atom are actually very loosely bound to the atom or to the nucleus, and they are virtually free to move at will, at their own will, through the material. Okay, so there are many charges, free charges in a metallic conductor, because one or more electrons per atom are free to move throughout the material at their own will. Okay, so a perfect conductor, if you take a perfect conductor, it has a large number of atoms, and each atom supplies one or two or one or more electrons. So it contains unlimited supply of completely free charges. So we can consider a conductor as a material having very large number of completely free charges, charges which are free to move throughout the material. Okay, now what are the properties of a conductor? The first property is the electric field is zero inside a conductor. Okay, so even if you put a conductor in an electric field, the electric field inside the conductor will be zero. Okay, so why it is happening so? Here we see a conductor placed in an electric field E0. Okay, now what happens is the conductor has many free charges. So when you apply the electric field, the negatively charged particles, electrons, pile up on one side of the conductor, as we see in this figure, and correspondingly positive charges will pile up, accumulate over the other side. Okay, so as negative charges leave from a place, that place will become positive because it was neutral. Before the conductor as a whole, that is neutral. So as electrons move to one side, that side will become negative, the other side will become positive, as shown here. Okay, so charges pile up, plus charge on the right side and minus charge on the left side. And this will produce an electric field. Okay, the charges piling up, that will produce an electric field, which is E1. Okay, now that will exactly cancel, okay, the field produced by these induced charges, negative charges on one side, positive charges on the other side. This is acting in opposite direction to the external electric field, E0. So E1 is opposite to E0, and that will tend to cancel off the original field. Okay, so E1 will cancel off the original field inside the conductor. Okay, so the charges will continue to flow until this cancellation is complete. Okay, so what happens is the field produced by the induced charges E1 will exactly cancel the external field E0, so that the net field inside the conductor is 0. So this is a very important result. The electric field inside a conductor is 0. Okay, the induced charges that will produce an electric field that will exactly cancel the original field. Okay, so field inside a conductor is 0. Then the next result, rho is 0 inside a conductor. The charge density is 0 inside a conductor. This is a result that follows from the previous result that electric field is 0 inside a conductor. We have the differential form of the Gauss's law, del dot E equal to rho by epsilon 0. Electric field is 0, so the left hand side is 0, so right hand side 0, rho is equal to 0. So charge density is 0 inside a conductor. Okay, so that is the second result. Then the third one, any net charge resides on the surface. Any net charge. So if you give some charge to the conductor, some extra charge to the conductor, if it is the charged, that charge will reside on the surface. Any net charge resides on the surface. Why? Because that's the only other place it can be. Because the second result showed rho is equal to 0 inside a conductor. The charge density is 0 inside a conductor. So the charge can reside, charge can be only on the surface because rho is 0 inside the conductor. Right? So we come to the fourth result. A conductor is an equipotential region of space. A conductor is an equipotential region of space, or the potential is constant throughout the conductor. Okay, equipotential, that means the potential is same everywhere inside the conductor and on the surface. Okay, the surface and inside of the conductor, and the entire region is at a constant potential. Okay, potential is constant throughout the conductor. So how can we prove that? Very easy. We know V of A minus V of B, the potential difference between 2 points, A and B are 2 points, either inside the conductor or on the surface. So V of A minus V of B is equal to minus integral A to B E dot dl. Okay, E is 0, electric field is 0. So that means the right hand side is 0. So we should have V of A as equal to V of B. That means any 2 points inside the conductor or on the surface of the conductor will be at the same potential. So a conductor is an equipotential. Conductor is an equipotential. Okay, same potential throughout the conductor. So this is the fourth interesting result with regard to the conductor. Then finally we say the electric field is perpendicular to the surface just outside a conductor. So just outside a conductor, electric field will be perpendicular, normal to the surface. Okay. We know inside a conductor the electric field is 0. Inside the conductor, everywhere inside the conductor the electric field is 0. And outside the conductor, the electric field will be perpendicular to the surface. Because if there is any tangential component, okay, if there is any tangential component, the charge will flow around the surface tangentially or parallel to the surface. If there is tangential component of the electric field here, that will move the charges. Okay, that will move the charges inside the conductor, forming induced charges on two sides. And as we saw in the first property, that will kill off the tangential component. Okay, so if there is a tangential component, the charge will immediately flow around the surface, okay, until it kills off the tangential component. As we saw in the first property, that the electric field cancellation occurs inside a conductor. Here, if there is a tangential component, the flow of charges will occur parallel to the surface, and that will create an electric field in such a way as to cancel the electric field. Okay, so the electric field outside, just outside a conductor, is exactly normal to it or perpendicular to it. So these are the 5 properties that we see for a conductor.